Alright guys, I'm going to be doing a reaction to Dynamite's Contender Series Week 2. The first fight of the night, Roman Puga versus Tanner Tremblay. This was a dogfight. Literally a dogfight. First round, Puga's insane output, just piecing up Tremblay. I thought it was going to be over there. He pops his nose, he makes him bleed from his nose, drops him. In the first round, beats him down a bit. Puga wins the first round clearly. Second round, bit more competitive. Tremblay's getting it. He makes Puga do the jelly legs. He was laying some really good calf, some thigh kicks in the first. Then come the second, he's warming it up. He's getting reactions out of Puga where he's lifting up his leg after. You could visibly see it's hurting Puga, and he didn't go back to it because Puga was intercepting him each time. But Puga with great output throughout that second. I personally had Tremblay up. He had a good 30 seconds of the end of the first. Basically, the end of the first round, he had a good end of the first, good end of the second, and a great third round. Not great, a good third round. Oh, my cat is jumping on my shelf. Anyway, he had a good third round. He made Puga do the stanky leg. He made him do the Kevin Lee a little. And he took him down. He had him hurt. I'm surprised he didn't go for ground and pound, honestly. He went for the back, control over everything. And then Puga reverses it. They get back on the feet. They're still slugging it. To the end, they were slugging it out. Great fight. That was a pretty good fight, I will say. That's like the hunger that, the Contender Series brings out of people. Like the UFC is the dream, and it's on the line in this fight, and it just brought the best out of both guys. And that's what you want to see with this. And I had Tremblay just because of Puga's, questionable reliance to the UFC game or the MMA game. But the boxing paid off, He had taken a 4-year break from fighting after getting a cut on his eye in his last loss. That's the last loss he had. He looked good. He had some decent boxing. What was kind of missing was his inside boxing, I think. I feel like he can get some nasty body hooks. I can see that kind of style fitting Puga more than just jab, jab. You know what I mean? I think if he doesn't reach as much, I think if he's in close, he needs to start doing that. I didn't see too much dirty boxing from him that fight, but maybe because Tremblay was kind of hard to chase down, but I didn't see a lot of it, and I want to see that because I think he can have a good inside boxing game. He looked good, good output, insane output for a 3-rounder for sure. He looked good. He beat up Tremblay for a good bit. Tremblay looked better as the fight went on, but Puga was, slowly tiring at the third, you could tell. Good fight. Both guys got the contract. Good result for a good fight. They both went to the hospital, so we did not get to see them. Moving on. Alec Lawrence versus Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick. My therapist told me I was a sociopath. I'm playing. I think Alec Lawrence is going to be one of those guys who's just going to be a highlight reel. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as that sounds, I think he's going to be one of those guys. I can kind of see it. He's not too great. I could kind of see him being a highlight reel. You never know, though. He can improve. I kind of see that happening. Muhammad Ali, he looked he looked scared to get hit. It was so weird because, as the fight starts, Lawrence is aggressive. He's aggressive. He's chasing Ali. He's making him back up. They do a little standing. Ali doesn't throw shit. He just runs away, backs out, lands a low kick or two, backs out, maybe throws a jab that pops Lawrence's nose because he was bleeding. Ali's just running away. And Lawrence is framing with his arm and then throwing the 2 over. And if y'all remember, Ali got clipped by that because he was pulling back, the 2 is his biggest weakness. And he was getting hurt by it, dropped, and he finally gets dropped, goes down, he gets put away, And it was just because The only time Ali when he stood to trade for the only time in the fight, he gets knocked out. And it's very weird because he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I think. I don't know. He's a champion in Jiu-Jitsu, at least. He beat Dylan Danis, folks. And he doesn't shoot one fucking takedown. Like, not even as Lawrence is running at him. He doesn't shoot a single takedown. Does he think he's too obvious with it? Oh, yeah, I'm a black belt, so I can't do it. Or I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so I'm not going to shoot. Are you stupid? And you know what's even worse? His name is Muhammad Ali, okay? He doesn't have any head movement. At least Ali could shuffle his feet a little, move his head, bounce off shots. But this fucking guy just tried to run away the entire time. Like, what are you doing? Like, that name is just thrown around for this poor dude. And he lives up to none of it. He just had the curse of being named it. So hopefully we see more out of Lawrence. We see a proper fight. Because Ali did not try to fight whatsoever. He tried to survive. That's all he did. He didn't even try to I'm going to plant once. The only time he planted, he got caught because he was loading up on a straight. And Lawrence slipped it, and countered with a straight back. And he clipped him, put him down, put him out. He didn't put him out. He put him down, land some ground and pound. But Ali looked he looked like he was about to be stiff, about to be colded, but he sprung up right after. But he was still hurt, obviously. Good performance from Lawrence. Horrible showing for Ali, for sure. He looked bad. I don't know what his game plan was. If he wasn't going to grapple, he just waited for Lawrence to slime him. He's like, it's okay, bro. You can get rid of me. Like, bro, what is you doing? Good performance from Lawrence. And he was a underdog for this. Odd. I picked Ali, but I didn't think he was that good. I never thought he was good at all. I just picked him because Lawrence that was beating cans. And, maybe y'all want to check out one of these events. Eternal MMA in 3 days. Anyway, moving on. Good performance from Lawrence. Never look at Muhammad Ali as a fighter again. He's just a name. Cristian Perez versus Logan Paxton. I had looked at the scorecards of this fight. Apparently, Logan Paxton won the first on every judge's scorecard. Makes sense. He had gotten Perez down in the first. He shot, I believe, a blast double or a charging in the clinch takedown, knee tap. Gets down Perez. Or maybe it was like a body lock and he ran into a takedown. I don't know. It was some running shit, like a charge takedown. Perez gets taken down a bit in the first. He tries some trips. Then he gets wizard. Paxton was laying some big meaty overhands on Perez. Perez looked very defensively and irresponsible this fight. He was way cleaner. I think he hurt Paxton in the first, but then he got taken down. He was getting beat up in the clinch a little off the breaks. Paxton looked good in that first round. The second round comes by. You know what? Actually, before that, the coaching by Paxton was, his corner was horrible. They told him that's all he got. That's his first round. He's a first round guy or something like that. And they say, be the bully or become the bully, or he was and you are the bully now. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, at least tell the guy, hey, here's what we can do. Follow the game plan. Start launching an overhand into a double or a single leg. Nope, fucking, what are we doing? What are we doing? They tell him you're the bully. Like, what a horrible coach. Genuinely, what? Like, it's back to back. Like Dean Thomas, this last weekend. We have to get her down. We have to clinch her, get her down. Like, how am I supposed to do that? Like, how am I supposed to impose my will on a guy who's trying to piece me up? You know what I mean? Like, how am I supposed to do that? It's not like he's just, laying around. I did notice that Paxton was getting Perez down off of the hook. Perez would overcommit to the hook and get taken down immediately, and that was probably what he has to stop doing, or he just didn't respect Paxton. It was after Paxton threw some big meaty hooks, he would get taken down after trying to counter hook him. Very weird from Perez to keep on doing it so he could get taken down. Good for Paxton to read up on that and get him down. Good. Second round, Perez just slimes him. Not even just, he clips him early. He hurts him. He gets him down to a knee. He's wobbly. He gets up, and then just a boosh puts him down on his flat on his back. Gets caught, not caught. He gets put down. He gets to his knees. He's on all fours. Perez gets backside, just pounds him in. 2 punches, boop, boop, boop. 2 punches, boop, boop. Puts him out. And that's all she wrote for Paxton. Paxton looked good in the first. As the fight went on, he did not have the striking ability. He did not. And I did notice in the first, Perez was laying some good body strikes. And Paxton kind of hunched over. And that kind of concerned me a bit. But he still kept it going, and he got the first. He got KO'd in the second. Hopefully he comes back stronger, fighting some real comp. Hopefully we see him fight some real fighters. Some better, well-known, some maybe former UFC guys. Some KMT shit. Moving on, Trent Miller versus Douglas Rodriguez. Keep it a buck. Rodriguez, he was gonna slime out Miller in that first. If he had not low-blowed him, or if he did not fumble it, Miller is tough as nails. He comes back from getting a front kick dropped. His mouth's bloody. He's bleeding a little out of his mouth. Douglas throws a low blow, low kick, probably not on purpose, fucks it up. And then he gets taken down like a child. Like he looked like a little kid out there just getting taken down and shit. And he just... And in the second, he elbows Miller from the closed guard. Miller, laying some baby punches. Not heavy punches, but some punches. Rodriguez, landing the elbows. In my opinion, he won the round off damage alone. Miller survives the second. It was 2 judges had Rodriguez in the first. I don't see how you can give Miller the first, in my opinion, but 1 judge had it for him. Round 2, he sprawls a takedown from Miller. He throws some body strikes, something to the ribs. They get up. Miller gets a over under, on the clinch, on the cage. As they're getting up, Douglas tries to lock in a guillotine. He doesn't let go. Miller gets the body lock. Tripp takes him down, or lifts him, takes him. And then he's still on the guillotine because he can't get his arm out now from Rodriguez. And Miller just puts him in, and Yvonne flew and subs him. He didn't make him tap. He put him to sleep, and that was pretty good. I didn't expect too much from Miller, but that was good. That was a good finish, and he put him out cold, even if it wasn't with his hands. Good performance. I won't say he had a great performance. He showed heart, grit, determination to win. And I see him fighting like Torres Finney or something. I can see that fight happening. Hopefully that fight happens. I want to see it. 2 bulky middleweights going at each other. He looked good. Maybe that's just because Rodriguez can't fight on the ground. He can't wrestle. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how Miller does. Maybe he is an UFC level. Maybe he's just one of those guys like Lawrence who just gets by off a guy who's not that good, but we'll see. Hopefully we see him against Torres Finney. We have to see that. We have to. That'd be so fucking funny. Just these fucking muscly ass fucking little balls of muscle fighting each other in middleweight. That'd be kind of funny, to be honest. Their striking would look so bad. Trent Miller looked mad stiff, too. And I saw his highlights. He was knocking out these fat guys. Like, how is that? That shit is so funny to me. Moving on. Good performance from Miller. He showed great grit, some great heart. Kaik Brito versus Namo Fazil. I had Brito. I had Rodriguez. I had Perez. I had Maali. And I had Tremblay. Brito. He looked like the welterweight Tim Elliott. He deadass looked like the welterweight Tim Elliott, 100%. He was doing the Tim Elliott shit, hands down, fucking bopping him with a jab, just throwing it out there, flopping his arms around. Like, he didn't really show too much, like, technical. You know what, actually, first round, he's piecing up Fazil up. He's outdoing him in the numbers, clearly more active of a fighter. He's piecing him up, he's making him chase him. He's on the back foot the entire fight, but he's specifically landing those low kicks. The low kicks to the thigh were very important, I think, in my opinion, in this fight. Just like the low kicks helped a lot in the finishing sequence alone. Anyway, we look at Brito. He wins the first. Second's more competitive just because of Brito slowing. I looked at the scorecards before the third. It was 1-1 on one judge and 2-0 on two judges. Fazil's starting to find the mark on most of his shots. Brito's clearly, slowed. But he's still kind of doing his thing, just not at the pace you would imagine. The numbers are closer. Fazil's kind of finding him. He starts to find him a bit. He's on the cage. That's where he's really finding him, is like his back against the cage, not, to the cage. And he's starting to catch him. He's hitting him a bit. That's up to debate who won that round, depending on how you look at it. Fazil was definitely putting the pace on him a little. He was kind of just holding his high guard and waiting for it. For a counter window. He showed some kicks. He threw some head kicks. Some kicks just in general. Round 3. God, man. Brito starts it off with a flying knee. Of all fucking things, just a flying knee to start off the fight. He gets respect. He falls over. Fazil's looking for him. He just throws some big knee hooks. He hits him to the body. He throws a cross 2. It lands. Then in the finishing sequence, Brito feints the rear, feints the lead, follows up with the rear. Just a rear nasty ass overhand. Puts out Fazil. Just puts him out cold. Just colds him. Puts him out. That shit was so nasty, bruh. It was so nasty how he put away Fazil. And Brito gets signed. How can you not sign him? He comes back after losing to Oban Elliott. He comes back, gets to the UFC bro, that was a beautiful overhand. It was as nasty as it gets. Just a perfect. And I was saying it into the lead up of it, who has Fazil beat outside of looking, like a shit talker against that Jake Bababian guy on MVP? Who has he really beat? You know what I mean? At least Brito has fought somebody who was on a win streak. Oban was on a win streak. People forget. Oban was kind of that guy. He was on his way to being that guy at one point. And he looked good, and, he got a 10-8 against, Oban. Of course, there's different style matchups, but Fazil does not have that ground game for 100,000%. And, Fazil, he kind of looked a little, stuck in the mud, you could say. He looked slow. He couldn't really keep up with Brito. Just loud-ass helicopter, ruined him of it. I live, right next to a hospital, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Damn hospitals. Anyway, I'm looking at it. He puts out Fazil stiff. He puts him out so stiff. He has his arms up, flat on his back, it was so nasty, man. So nasty. Brito, you definitely deserve to be in the UFC. That was so fucking nasty. I can't believe it. Tremblay got a contract. Puga got a contract. Lawrence got a contract. Perez got a contract. All the winners got contracts. All finishes, too. That's the part I love, is that they were all finishes. That was only week 2. That was pretty good. I guess, guys, we could look at the next week's card. Sean Clancy Jr. Ronald Humphrey. I've heard a little about that guy. this guy got slimed by Josh Hockett. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some. Anyway, good card. Great fights. Very good fights. Good finishes. Very entertaining. I think the star of the show here is Brito. I think who has the most promise to me personally, I think is Perez. Puga could have something with him. I think it's just too early to tell. But we'll see as time goes on. We'll see how these guys prepare. Puga, he was a boxer, so we'll see how everything plays out. Yeah, I think the UFC has a brighter future, even though a few of these guys were Candy Crushers. If I'm being really honest, but I think that'll be it for this one. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Just a minor breakdown. Yeah, I think that's it. Great finish from Brito. It was so nasty. Alright, goodbye.